Hi everyone. Welcome to the Freehand Podcast. This is a podcast. This is an official podcast that I have decided to start. And it's mainly for my friends, those of you who are artists, whether it be fiber artists, textile artists, painting, drawing, any type of art, or just like you enjoy listening to podcasts while you create, while you do stuff, while you're writing. I don't know. This is just another form of content for those who want to listen while they're creating. That's personally what I enjoy doing. I love to either watch videos in the background while I'm knitting, or listen to a podcast or something while I'm stitching something up. Just stimulates my brain, and it is more, I guess, more intriguing than listening to music sometimes for me. So yeah, today I want to talk about some of the things that I want to learn how to do in 2024 this year. Personally, I'm not the biggest New Year's resolution, let me set a bunch of new goals type of person. I think I used to be when I was younger, but now I more just see it as okay, this is just another day. And I mean, that kind of sounds not great, but it's just yeah, it's a new year, but it's also another day. And so, not to say that I don't have any motivation to change anything or do anything new, but I don't really enjoy, I don't like putting so much value on the fact that it's all of a sudden a new year, I gotta make these changes or sort of act like you're gotta pick yourself up and recreate yourself or something. One, because there's all these type of statistics that say after when you set a New Year's resolution, by the middle of February or 5 weeks later, 6 weeks later, you're back to where you were before. That definitely is discouraging. But also, how many, if you really think about how many New Year's resolutions you've made, or how many new years have gone by since beyond elementary school, because when you're a kid, it's fun, it's cool, and you got all these big things, dreams and goals that you want to achieve, or fun things that it would kind of be cool if I wrote down some of my New Year's resolutions when I was 12 to read them back now to see what they were. I didn't, but that would be kind of fun. So anyway, this year I wrote down a few things that I wanted to learn, because something cool that I learned about myself since I've had my knitting business has been that whatever I set my mind to do or to learn, I have the capacity to do it extremely well. And I know that sounds obviously, if you work hard to do something, you'll do it well, but I knew that I was a determined person, or that I am a hard worker, that type of thing. But the last 8 months that I've had my knitting business, my knitting website, it's called Knit One. I started my Shopify in April of 2023, and I have it now still. I haven't made a bunch of sales, but I've made a little bit. But really, other than having some sales, just the me being able to essentially knit every day for like 2 hours a day every day for the last 8 months, I have seen my knitting just improve so much. And that tells me that even like after having the knitting business for a little bit and not really seeing the profit that I expected to see or that I really wanted to see from that, like, I've at least come away with the fact that I'm a pretty good knitter now, and I know that if the last 8 months I said anything, it's taught me that I can pick up anything that I have a desire to learn, and I have the capacity to be really good at it if I work at it every single day. And this is the first thing that I've done every day, like that I've worked on to improve every single day, ever. Well, yeah, pretty much, because I've been super consistent with this, which really just tells, it's me telling myself that you can do this, and me putting more trust in myself that I know that if I pick something else up, I can be really good at that too, which is pretty cool. So today I just wanted to share a few things that I'm interested in now, that I'm thinking about. I could learn this, I could be good at this could be fun to like try this new thing out. As you know, the holidays are over, it's a new year, my sales have died down enough on my online shop that I'm actually considering pausing it or just like doing something different and still knitting, but not necessarily taking commission orders and stuff. But I'll talk about that in another episode. And so a few things that I wanted to share today, I wrote them down in my notes. Let me find it. Oh, here we go. So, one of the things that I've kind of been thinking about learning is, well, let me start by saying this. My husband and I are staying with my parents in Rhode Island for a little bit. We hung out with them through the holidays, and now we're staying with them for a little bit until we can get our own place here in Rhode Island. So I was going through a lot of my stuff in the basement, because up here they have basements, and just something that I didn't realize was I just held on to a lot of trash, like, because when I was living with my parents, my family moved a lot, just around the state a bunch of times, and then we've just carried a lot of our trash with us, which sounds so bad, and I didn't realize it, because now I'm a minimalist. Like, my default sort of thing is like, I don't want a lot of extra stuff. I want to get rid of stuff that I don't use and everything. And so I was going downstairs, down to the basement, my parents' basement, to see some of my old things, like the old things that I used to have. I think I was looking for something, and I realized I had 7 bins. Like, if you think about like storage bins, they're like a little bit bigger than a normal sized cardboard box. They're like, I don't even know, like probably like maybe 2 feet wide and like a 1.5 feet tall or something like that. So these hefty, good sized bins, like if you think about it, if you're moving into like your college dorm and you put all your stuff in a bin, I don't know. And I had 7 of those that were just filled with all of my stuff that I had just like brought from all the way back till like from elementary school. Well, not some stuff from elementary school, mostly from middle school and high school. And I had already taken my necessities with me when I moved out of my parents' house 2 years ago, and that I've been living with like a smaller amount that like, oh, this is what I need. So it was essentially a bunch of things from my past that like from when I was younger that was just like in my parents' basement, just like sitting there, and like it's like old childhood toys, old. My mom used to write. She would call them love notes, to put in my lunchbox when I was in elementary school and middle school, because I would pack a lunch and then she would write like little notes on napkins. I like saved almost all of them, like just like napkins that had my mom's love notes on them, which that's sweet, and that's nice. And at the time, it was more like I didn't know what to do with them because I felt bad throwing them out, so I just kept them. And now I look back at my stuff and I'm like, whoa, like, yes, I have a better perspective of like what is important to keep and what's not. And like out of 7 bins, everything that I ended up keeping that was actually of value to me now filled half of 1 bin. So most of that was trash. And the things I ended up keeping were like a couple of good yearbooks, some things that I really enjoyed that my parents gave me, like things that were like really something that I wanted to keep. There were a couple of African American literature books from college that I really enjoyed that I'm keeping. But there was just so much stuff that like old college textbooks that it's way too late to return them or try to resell them. They're just taking up space. So anyway, down in the basement, among all my other stuff, were 2 violins. I used to play violin in middle school and in high school. I played the violin for 6 years, and I got pretty good at it. And then after school was over, I ended up picking up the cello, but I didn't touch the violin much. And so I own 2 violins, and I found them in the basement, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, I still have them, and they're in great condition. What if I learned how to play the violin again? I've never been super musical, but the only music that I have played before was orchestra, strings, violin, and the cello. And so that's been something that I'm kind of thinking about, like, that could be cool to pick up the violin again and try to relearn how to play it, because it's been like 6 years since I've played the violin, since I've touched it, so like that could be a really fun thing to do again. Something else that I'm thinking about is possibly trying cord jewelry with like ceramic beads. I've seen on Instagram just some beautiful jewelry made with the cord. I don't know anything about it, but I just saw one artist who was making jewelry with like the small rope and just like ceramic beads that were just beautiful, that you could probably make like bracelets, necklaces, belts, like little charms or something, and it just looked different than just a typical like charm bracelet or something like that. Like it just looks so I really like the style of it, so I'm kind of thinking about that. Just learning how to be really good at different crafts and like the beauty in different things. Like knitting is so intricate, or in crocheting too, like super intricate, that when you gift it to somebody, or if you make it and you are wearing it around and you say that like I made this, people are like astonished, because it obviously took you so long to make it, and technique is amazing, whatever. And from the cord jewelry that I was looking at, it definitely is a similar thing. And I love the idea of like wearing or gifting something that you've handmade. Because for a long time I thought that hand making stuff that you wear or that just gets daily use is flimsy, because I like didn't know how to make it good. I think just as a kid, and then like being like in school trying to make stuff by hand, or just the idea of it, I thought like, oh, it's not going to be as good as if a manufacturer made it, because I don't know anything about this. But now with the experience I have with knitting and all that, like I know not only the quality but the just the meaning behind something handmade is just unmatched. And the last thing that I've been thinking about getting into is learning how to ferment like fruits and vegetables, and like get into like canning and putting stuff in jars and all that. It's very like wife homemakery. I don't know if I'm ready for sourdough bread, but I think it would be so cool to like make my own hot sauce, or my husband loves sauerkraut. And alcohol too. Like, how cool would it be to figure out how to make your own alcohol and like ferment that and do the yeast and all that stuff. Just like things that are niche but would like really come in handy. And just like I just love the idea of next Christmas rolls around and then I'm like, oh, I've been fermenting these raspberries or these blackberries, and I made like a jam, like a homemade raspberry jam that's been like sitting on the shelf for like 6 months, and this is your Christmas gift, is like these like peach preserves or something that I handmade. Like that just sounds so precious to me, and like something that like maybe took a lot of effort, maybe didn't, but just like being able to gift something from like, I don't know. I don't know why, I just feel like it's so wholesome and like such a cool skill to know. If like, how fun would it be to go to the farmer's market or even like grow your own fruits or vegetables and then learn how to can them properly so that you can preserve them and use them later, or just gift them to friends or family, or I don't know. It's just have something that's really like a precious gift, or a really tasty thing. And like I'm sure if you calculate the costs of all that, you'd probably be saving money by making your own jams and jellies, or canning your own, like pressure canning your own beans instead of buying canned beans at the market. So yeah, those are some of the things I've been thinking about, especially as I've been knitting for a while, and I'm thinking about moving on from it, as far as like trying to monetize it and trying to have commissions up and selling my stuff. I might just keep it as something fun that I do to make myself things, or make my husband things, or like have the skill so that if somebody has a baby shower, I can like knit them a little, like something that's nice like that, or make a friend a really nice blanket, as opposed to having to be like stressed out from commissions that people want to put in and shipping things out and everything. I feel like those are two very different spectrums of having a knitting or crochet business that you do, or like an Etsy or something, because on the one hand you're like open to if anybody wants to put in an order, and so you're working on a bunch of different things, or like hoping that they like it, or something, and there's just like I need to keep working on this because I have a deadline. Whereas if you don't have that and you're just creating for fun, it can be more free, like freeing. I don't know. That's something I've been thinking about lately, and I really think it's because of the recent commission that I've been working on, that I've been sharing with you guys, just like how tedious it has been and how much work it has been, and how even though I'm working on this commission, this sweater, every single day, it just almost feels like I'm getting nowhere with it, because there's just so many steps to it, and I know that eventually it will be finished, and my goal is for it to be finished before this month is over, because I'm so done with this project. But I think that's really been like because of this last commission that I've been working on for so long. I just need a break from it, and I want to stop, which I created my website and all that, so of course I can control when I want to hit pause on it. So yeah, definitely more thoughts on that later. I'm still thinking about that, but I still need to finish that commission. So yeah, I want these podcasts to be a little bit longer. I know this has only been 20 minutes. But I want to have a space where I can express some different creative ideas that aren't necessarily knitting. I know the title of this is Freehand Podcast, and freehand is, to knitters and crocheters and probably other artists that can go off a pattern and stuff. Freehand is the opposite of looking at a pattern, just kind of like using the knowledge you have or your imagination, or just figuring it out along the way, basically, and then making something that you didn't look at a pattern for, which is how I knit everything, which might not be great. I don't know. It would probably be beneficial for me to learn how to reference a pattern, read a pattern. I don't know if you can hear my parents' dog barking, but so yeah, I want to create this as a place where I can express some different creative ideas that aren't necessarily knitting, like if I want to talk about how I learned how to do cord jewelry, or canning food, or whatever. So thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you later.